Today's lesson is on graphing equations. This equation is written in slope-intercept form. This means that our m is our slope, and the plus b, the b, is our y-intercept. We start with our y-intercept of 1. This means that it's going to hit the y-axis at positive 1, which is here. And then, since my slope is 2, that means that it's a rise of 2 and a run of 1. So when I go to graph it, I start at that y-intercept and I rise 2 and run 1, and rise 2 and run 1, and rise 2 and run 1. I can also go backwards. Drop 2, back 1, drop 2, back 1, drop 2, back 1, and end up with a nice, pretty graph from my original equation. Here's our first example. Let's pull out our slope, which is negative 2, and our y-intercept, which is a positive 7. For our slope, that means that it has a rise of negative 2 and a run of 1, or a rise of 2 and a run of negative 1. Either of those equals negative 2 for the slope. My y-intercept is 7. That means it intersects the y-axis all the way up here. So when I look at my slope of negative 2, 1, I drop 2 and run 1, and 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 drop 2 and run 1, until I have made it all the way to the end of my graph, giving me a perfect straight line. For example 2, my slope is negative 3/4, and my y-intercept is negative 1. So I start at my y-intercept of negative 1, and then I'm going to drop 3 and run 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And drop 3 and run 4, which will take me off the graph. So I can also rise 3 and run backwards 4, because that's going to give me the same value. I rise 1, 2, 3, run backwards 1, 2, 3, 4, showing my slope of my line. Now, whenever you see this one and you're like, whoa, 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 where's my mx? Because right now the only thing we have is a b. There is no slope and no x. Well, that makes sense, because if I graph this as y equals negative 4, that means that no matter where I am, if x is 1, y is negative 4. If x is 2, y is negative 4. If x is negative 6, it doesn't matter, because y is negative 4. You'll notice that this is a flat line, so it has a slope of 0, which makes sense, because if I had my original problem as 0x minus 4, that would simplify to that y equals negative 4. So when they tell you just what y equals, you graph that at negative 4. Here's one for you to try. Pause the video, try it on your own, and play to check your answer. Ready? This has a slope of negative 1/2, and it has a y-intercept of negative 3. I start with my y-intercept, and then I drop 1, run 2, drop 1, run 2, drop 1, run 2. I could also go the other way, rise 1, run backwards 2, until I end up with my graph.